On July 14th, 2016, Samia Shahid, a British citizen, boarded a flight from the United Kingdom to Pakistan. Before takeoff, she sent a message to a friend. "Pray that I return alive." 6 days later, she was found dead in a house belonging to her family. Her death was initially recorded as an accident. It would later be ruled a homicide. Samia was born on November 15th, 1987, in Bradford, West Yorkshire. Bradford is one of England's most ethnically diverse cities, home to a large South Asian community with deep ties to Pakistan. Her parents, Chaudhry Muhammad and Imtiaz, had moved to the United Kingdom from the village of Pandari, Pakistan, years earlier. Like many families, they had come seeking stability and opportunity. The Shahid family ran several local businesses. Samia's parents owned a limousine and car rental company, while other relatives operated neighborhood shops. The family was visible, connected, and respected within their community. Samia had one sister, Mia, and the two grew up surrounded by cousins, aunts, and uncles. Family gatherings were frequent. Relationships were close. Family, above all else, came first. At home, parental authority played a central role, particularly that of Samia's father. Major decisions, education, travel, and especially marriage, were expected to involve the approval of elders. Friends later described Samia as warm, lively, and expressive. She enjoyed fashion and independence in small ways, but she was also deeply attached to her family, and especially to her father. His approval mattered to her more than anything. Samia worked part-time at the Bradford post office. Though her father continued to support her financially, she lived at home, balancing the freedoms of life in Britain with the expectations of a traditional household. As Samia moved into her mid-20s, her parents began to talk seriously about marriage. By 2012, Samia was 24 years old, and her parents believed it was time for her to marry. Within the family's cultural framework, marriage was not treated as a personal milestone reached on one's own schedule. It was a responsibility, guided by elders, and often arranged through extended family connections in Pakistan. Samia's mother encouraged her to travel to Pakistan to be married, according to tradition. Arranged marriages were common within the family, and previous generations, including Samia's parents, had followed the same path. When Samia was presented with a proposal, she did not openly resist it. Later accounts differ on how much choice she truly had. Family members stated that Samia was not forced and that she agreed willingly. Friends would later say she felt unable to refuse. What is not disputed is this. In February 2012, Samia traveled to Pakistan to marry Shakil, her cousin, from the family's village of Pandari. Samia had known Shakil since childhood. Within the family, he had always been regarded as a relative, not a romantic partner. The marriage was arranged under Islamic law through a nikah ceremony. It was considered valid religiously, though it was not registered under British civil law. The wedding itself was large and elaborate. Relatives travelled from both Pakistan and the United Kingdom to attend. Celebrations lasted several days and included hundreds of guests. As a wedding gift, Chaudhry Muhammad provided a house for the newly married couple, located close to the family home in Pandari. After the ceremony, Samia moved into that house with Shakil. For Samia, the transition was abrupt. She had grown up in England, in a busy city, surrounded by extended family and familiar routines. Now, she was expected to settle into life in a small rural village, married to a man she had never chosen for herself. She remained in Pakistan with Shakil for approximately 4 months. In June 2012, Samia returned to Bradford, alone. Shakil stayed behind in Pakistan, waiting for immigration documents that would allow him to join her in the United Kingdom. Samia was expected to begin the process of applying for a spousal visa on his behalf. But those close to her would later say that something had already changed. When Samia returned to Bradford in June 2012, friends noticed an immediate change. She appeared more anxious. Conversations about her marriage were tense. What had been presented publicly as a joyful union did not match how she spoke about it in private. Shakil remained in Pakistan, but distance did not bring relief. According to friends, Samia felt constantly monitored. She was expected to remain in frequent contact, often through daily video calls, and to account for her time and movements even while living thousands of miles away. Those close to her said the attention felt less like concern and more like control. During this period, Samia expressed increasing distress. In August 2012, she sent a voice message to a friend, saying she felt trapped, unhappy, and no longer wanted to remain married. She spoke about feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by the situation. Family members would later dispute these accounts. They stated that Samia spoke proudly about her wedding and never indicated she was unhappy. They questioned why she would have agreed to return to Pakistan at all if the marriage had been so difficult. What is clear is that two very different versions of Samia's marriage existed at the same time. Because the marriage had not been registered under British civil law, Samia could not pursue a divorce through the UK courts. Any separation would have to take place under Islamic law. As months passed, the distance between Samia and Shakil did not resolve the strain. By 2013, Samia had begun to pull away emotionally. That year, she met Ali Kazim. The two initially connected online, then met in person in London in October 2013. Ali was a British citizen of Pakistani origin who worked abroad, primarily in Dubai. Samia disclosed her situation to him early on. She explained that she was married, but that the marriage had been arranged and had become unbearable. Their relationship developed cautiously at first, but it quickly became clear that Samia wanted a different future, one not defined by the expectations that had shaped her first marriage. For the first time since returning from Pakistan, friends said Samia appeared lighter, more like herself. But wanting a different life did not mean she was free to take it. By 2014, Samia had reached a point where remaining in her first marriage no longer felt possible. In May 2014, she asked Shakil for a divorce under Islamic law. He refused. Under Islamic principles, consent is central to a valid marriage. If a marriage is found to have been entered into under pressure or coercion, it may be declared invalid. With few options available, Samia approached the Islamic Sharia Council in the United Kingdom. Under oath, she stated that her marriage had not been entered into freely and that she had been arranged under family pressure. As part of the process, a cleric handling the case contacted Shakil and invited him to give his account. He declined to participate. Based on the information provided and Shakil's refusal to engage, the council ruled that the marriage was invalid under Islamic law. Several friends were present when Samia signed the documentation confirming the annulment. At the time, her family was unaware that the process had taken place. Around this same period, Samia also converted from Sunni Islam to Shia Islam, the branch of Islam followed by Ali. That decision would later become another source of conflict with her family. With the first marriage declared invalid, Samia and Ali moved forward quietly. In September 2014, they married in Leeds in a small nikah ceremony attended by only a handful of friends. The ceremony was conducted by the same cleric who had overseen the annulment. Unlike her first wedding, this one was private. There were no extended relatives, no public celebration, and no family approval. Later, the marriage was registered at a UK registry office, making it legally recognised under British law. For Samia, The marriage to Ali marked a turning point. It was the first major decision she had made without her family's involvement. That choice, however, did not bring relief. Instead, it marked the beginning of a new and more visible conflict. In October 2014, just weeks after her marriage to Ali, Samia was attacked in Bradford. She had been walking with a cousin when she was assaulted in an alleyway. Only Samia was injured. According to police records, she was struck repeatedly on the legs with metal rods, leaving her with extensive bruising. The attack appeared deliberate. There was no attempt to rob her, and no indication that her cousin had been the intended target. Samia reported the assault to the police. At the station, officers documented her injuries and took a statement. During that visit, Samia made a phone call to her parents. Police officers overheard the conversation. Instead of concern or reassurance, Samia was met with verbal hostility. Her parents expressed anger and disapproval over her recent decisions, including her marriage. Samia did not attempt to lower her voice or step away from the call. She allowed officers to hear the exchange in full. For investigators, the call offered insight into the tension surrounding her personal life. For Samia, it marked a moment where private family conflict became visible to authorities. The attack itself was never conclusively linked to a specific individual. No arrests were made. But to those close to Samia, the message was unmistakable. Her marriage was no longer a secret. Around the same time, Ali returned to Dubai for work. Samia remained in Bradford, waiting for a visa that would allow her to join him. During this period, family pressure intensified. In May 2015, Samia's parents learned of her annulment from Shakil and her marriage to Ali. They rejected both. They insisted that the Islamic Sharia Council had no authority to dissolve the first marriage and maintained that, in their view, Samia remained married to Shakil. Samia's mother, Imtiaz, contacted her repeatedly, urging her to abandon the second marriage and return to the family's expectations. Relatives later described the exchanges as confrontational. Samia continued living at home, surrounded by people who no longer accepted her choices. Friends said she felt watched, restricted, and increasingly isolated. Remaining in Bradford was becoming untenable. By mid-2015, it was clear that staying in Bradford was no longer sustainable for Samia. The tension at home had not eased. Family disapproval was constant, and the sense of safety she once felt there had eroded. When Samia received a visa to travel to Dubai, she made plans to join Ali, who was working there at the time. Friends later said the decision was not easy. Samia remained deeply attached to her family and struggled with the idea of leaving them behind. Nevertheless, she went. In mid-2015, Samia traveled to Dubai and moved in with her husband. For the first time since her marriage troubles began, she was physically removed from the environment that had defined the conflict. Those close to her noticed a change. Samia appeared calmer. She spoke openly about her life and shared moments of happiness on social media. She talked about the future, about settling down, and about starting a family. Despite the distance, Samia did not cut ties with her parents. She remained in regular contact with them by phone and message. Friends said she hoped that time and space might soften their opposition and eventually lead to acceptance. That did not happen. After Samia left for Dubai, her parents reported her missing to police in the United Kingdom. The report reflected their refusal to accept that she had chosen to leave on her own terms. When the family learned that Samia's marriage to Ali had been registered under British law, their objections hardened. Relatives travelled to Shia mosques in the United Kingdom, confronting the cleric who had annulled Samia's first marriage and later officiated her second. They challenged his authority and demanded explanations. The cleric reported receiving threats and notified the police. Authorities provided him with safety advice. At the same time, Samia's father, Chaudhry Muhammad, contacted Ali directly. He demanded that Ali leave his daughter. Ali refused, stating that Samia was now his legal wife. The family continued to reject the marriage. They maintained that Samia's relationship with Ali was illegitimate and dishonorable, and that her actions had brought shame on them. From Dubai, Samia tried to hold both worlds together. She spoke frequently with her parents, attempting to reassure them and explain her decisions. She hoped reconciliation was still possible. For a time, distance had reduced the immediate pressure, but it had not resolved the conflict. In June 2016, Samia learned that her aunt, the mother of Shakil, had died in Pakistan. The news unsettled her. She had been close to her aunt and felt a pull to return for the funeral. At the same time, she understood the risk. Ali urged her not to go. Given the family tension and unresolved hostility surrounding her marriages, he believed the trip was unsafe. At first, Samia agreed. Shortly afterward, another message arrived from home. Samia's mother, Imtiaz, and her sister, Maya, told her that her father's health had worsened significantly while he was in Pakistan. They said he was seriously ill and might not have much time left. By that point, Samia had returned from Dubai to the United Kingdom. Despite the conflict between them, she remained deeply attached to her father. Friends later said she could not imagine living with herself if he died while she stayed away. A plane ticket to Pakistan was booked for her. Ali objected, but he did not stop her. He drove Samia to the airport in the United Kingdom, asking her more than once to reconsider. She told him she would be fine. On July 14, 2016, Samia boarded a flight from the United Kingdom to Pakistan. Before departure, she sent a message to a friend. "Pray that I return alive." After arriving in Pakistan, Samia did not go directly to her family's home. On her first night, she stayed with a friend, leaving her travel documents and return ticket there for safekeeping. In the days that followed, she remained in regular contact with Ali. She reassured him that she was safe and expected to return to Dubai soon. On July 18th, Samia visited her aunt's grave with her father. The following day, July 19th, Ali told her about a disturbing dream he had had. Samia responded by asking him to pray for her safe return. She was scheduled to leave Pakistan on July 21st. On July 20th, Samia stopped responding to messages. Ali's calls went unanswered. His messages remained unread. That evening, a man contacted the Pandari police station to report that his daughter had died. The caller identified himself as Chaudhry Muhammad. When police arrived at the house, they found the body of a woman at the bottom of a staircase. It was Samia. Her shoes were found nearby. Her handbag lay close to her body. A black scarf covered her face. Foam was visible around her mouth. Chaudhry Muhammad told officers that Samia had fallen down the stairs. He stated that she had been living in the house with her husband, Shakil. When police asked where Shakil was, Muhammad said he did not know. He told them that no one had seen him since Samia's death. After Samia's death was reported, local police treated the scene as non-suspicious. An initial examination of her body noted no visible signs of injury. Based on that assessment, officers accepted the explanation given by her father that Samia had fallen down the stairs. An autopsy was conducted shortly afterward, and Samia's body was released to her family. She was buried the same day. The decision aligned with local practice. Under Islamic custom, immediate burial is common when there is no dispute over the cause of death. At that point, no criminal investigation was opened. In the days that followed, conflicting explanations for Samia's death began circulating. Some reports suggested she had suffered a heart attack or asthma attack. Others repeated the claim that she had fallen down the stairs. Local media outlets in Pakistan went further, reporting that Samia had taken her own life. Her family publicly denied that claim. When Ali learned of Samia's death, he initially struggled to believe it. A relative contacted him, telling him she had died suddenly. Ali traveled to Pakistan as soon as he could. Once there, he went to the police and reported that his wife had been killed. He told investigators about Samia's first marriage, the annulment, and the family's opposition to her relationship with him. That information changed how authorities viewed the case. Police began to consider the possibility that Samia's death was not accidental. By then, however, her body had already been buried. As news of the death reached the United Kingdom, British media began reporting on the case. Samia was described as a British woman who had died under unclear circumstances while visiting family in Pakistan. Her father, Chaudhry Muhammad, gave interviews in which he insisted that his daughter had been happy. He denied the existence of Ali, describing him instead as a blackmailer. It was only later that a crucial document came into Ali's possession. Ali obtained a copy of Samia's autopsy report. The report stated that a reddish-brown bruise was present around her neck. The cause of death was listed as strangulation. The report also documented the presence of male semen inside Samia's body. With those findings, the explanation of an accidental fall no longer held. Ali made the autopsy results public, holding a press conference in Pakistan. He presented photographs showing the injury to Samia's neck and spoke openly about the circumstances leading up to her death. The response was immediate. Ali began receiving death threats. Pakistani police provided him with round-the-clock protection. Pressure mounted on authorities to reopen the case. Friends of Samia in the United Kingdom contacted Naz Shah, a member of parliament for Bradford. Naz Shah wrote directly to Pakistani officials, raising concerns about Samia's death and calling for a full investigation. Following diplomatic and media attention, Pakistani police formally reopened the case. After the investigation was reopened, attention quickly turned to Shakil. He had left the area shortly after Samia's death and could not initially be located. Approximately 8 days later, he was found and taken into custody by Pakistani authorities. During police questioning, Shakil admitted that he had confronted Samia on the day she died. He told investigators that he wanted to force her to annul her marriage to Ali and remain with him in Pakistan. According to his statement, he searched Samia's belongings for her passport and return ticket that morning, but could not find them. Shakil admitted that Samia resisted. He stated that he sexually assaulted her, and investigators later said that the semen found during the autopsy matched him. He told police that Samia attempted to flee the house. According to his confession, he caught up with her and strangled her with a scarf. Despite the confession, the case faced immediate obstacles. Investigators said that evidentiary limitations made prosecution difficult under Pakistani law. The scene had not been preserved. Samia's body had been buried before suspicions were raised. Critical forensic opportunities had been lost. As the investigation expanded, arrest warrants were issued for Samia's parents, Chaudhry Muhammad and Imtiaz, as well as her sister, Mia. Before they could be detained, Imtiaz and Maya returned to the United Kingdom. Samia's father was briefly held in Pakistan. He denied any involvement in his daughter's death and maintained that she had been happy. In January 2018, Chaudhry Muhammad was hospitalized with kidney failure. He later died in a hospital in Lahore at the age of 52. Meanwhile, Shakil remained in custody for nearly 2 years. In September 2018, he was released on bail. Prosecutors stated that, despite his confession, the evidence was insufficient to secure a conviction. The case stalled. In the years that followed, the story fractured into competing narratives. Samia's sister, Maya, publicly denied that Samia had ever been forced into marriage. She claimed that Samia had complained about her life in Dubai and said she was financially unhappy with Ali. According to Mia, Samia had sent photographs meant to show hardship rather than freedom. Ali rejected those claims. He stopped making public statements after the investigation lost momentum and eventually returned to Dubai. In 2019, Shakil remarried a British Pakistani woman and applied for a spousal visa to enter the United Kingdom. Following intervention by Naz Shah, the application was denied. No one was ever convicted for Samia's death. The house in Pandari where she died remains standing. No court fully examined what happened inside it. Her death is officially recorded as homicide. No verdict followed. Samia Shahid left the United Kingdom believing she would return. She had made plans. She had a return ticket. She stayed in contact with the people she loved until the day she stopped responding. What happened inside that house was never tested in open court, and the truth of her final moments was buried before it could be heard.